Hey guys, welcome to the new movie review. Today we're doing a movie that I've been wanting to see, and I finally was able to see it. Sponge on the Run. So let's go and talk about this movie. This is the third of the SpongeBob movies. Now this one technically could be a reboot or what you want to say, because it has some stuff in the where it shows it might be considered a reboot, but we'll get into that when we get into the movie. When we get to the review, because I explained some stuff. I would have to explain some stuff to me of the movie, and I don't want to do that until I get into the movie. So let's give real thoughts. I think it was fine. I liked it. I do think I liked the first two better than this one. I do think it's great. I'm gonna have to give this one I think it's good. A lot of people have been saying stuff about it. I think it's fine. I don't think it's as good as the first two for sure, but I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it's fine. Obviously, it's a movie for kids, so you gotta have that in mind. But also, the first two movies were the first movie, I think, it's the best. The second one is, I actually surprisingly, the movies are going in order of how good they are. Like, the first one's the best, the second one is the second best, and then the third one is the third best. In a lot of categories, I would say, except for one, where I think it does the pass. But let's just jump into it. Like I said, I do like it. I don't think it's the best, so if you're going into, and I know a lot of people have been saying that, I was like, oh, a lot of people saying not like, awful things, like, it's a awful movie, this is complete dog crap. No, but a lot of people are like, not that entertaining, or saying stuff that doesn't feel like SpongeBob. But for me, it's like, as watching, I'm like, also, I've watched a lot of the original SpongeBob and enough SpongeBob to, I'm like, I can understand what SpongeBob is. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it felt like that much not like SpongeBob, but also, I could be just, it could be blowing over my head, like, what it's not, like, oh, this is not like SpongeBob because of this, you could say that, I'm like, okay, that makes sense now you say it, but I'm just me watching. I'm like, it seems like a SpongeBob movie. I don't know what the deal is on that front. So, but let's get into what it's about. The movie is about SpongeBob, obviously, because SpongeBob movie is about him, and obviously Gary goes missing. So, and what if you've probably been like, that's been done on the show, for the record, just because something's been done before doesn't mean you can't do it again, but definitely, Obviously, it's like so much you can do, but it's like, okay, you had Gary missing. What makes it different? So Plankton found out that SpongeBob is always the one. It's like Mr. Krabs, someone who's always ruined my thing, I gotta stop him. It's like, and Karen, his robot wife or whatever, it's like, no, it is SpongeBob who's always causing this thing. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. SpongeBob's always the one who's doing it. Then he's like, okay, I'll stop SpongeBob. So he finds out that the king is posting a thing for like snails. Like, I need to find King Neptune uses snails to make his face look all beautiful and stuff. And it kind of makes him like, to where he runs out of juice, and he puts them in to walk in a like mines, or like thing where he like puts them to walk as slaves, and then yeah, so I was like, okay, so you seem like to be the bad guy maybe of the series. Obviously, in Plankton finds the thing that says about he's looking for snails because they ran out, and then he's like, okay, alright, if SpongeBob has a snail, he gets a snail in Gary, I can take that, he gets him away, and I can go finally get the formula. When he does do that, so obviously Gary's gone, and SpongeBob does find the letter, and he has to go. Him and Patrick like, we need to go do this thing and go save him. Obviously, Plankton gives him a ride because they can't drive anything. He gets a robot, a Sandy Bill, who's kind of not 100% walks, but yeah, he goes, and they go off on a journey to save them, and yeah. So that pretty much covers most of it. Also, Mr. Krabs and Squidward and Sandy kind of have little things going in the movie as well. They eventually find out, and obviously eventually Plankton, because because SpongeBob's gone, it's like, oh, what the hell, why can't we make Krabs Patties? It's like, first of all, it's weird, because I'm like, I have a couple things I want to mention. First of all, Squidward can't make Krabs Patties, but first of all, I'm like, makes sense. He's not a fry cook. There's no way he would be able to make them. So, like, I understand. But Mr. Krabs, who shows in a flashback, him making burgers, making, like, Krabs Patty burgers. So, I'm like, he can make them. So, why isn't he making them and doing a little work? You get your money, you get a little work done until SpongeBob's gone. Like, you need to have a backup plan for this, Mr. Krabs. I'm just saying. Because it seems like when SpongeBob's gone, it's like you guys fall apart. And also, does SpongeBob work every day? Because I know he doesn't work every day, but it's like, how do you stay open then if he doesn't work every day? And I don't know. It's like, well, the questions you really when you think about it, like, oh yeah, the questions just in general for SpongeBob. But I'm like, oh yeah, how's that work? Does he eat days off? I feel like, I don't know, it's weird. But yeah, but they have eventually, obviously, SpongeBob gone, so everything goes to crap. And eventually, Plankton goes to Mr. Krabs, like, I want to get the formula. I was like, oh, I have the formula, just take it. He's like beaten. He's like, I miss SpongeBob. It's like, it is about, yes, a little bit about the money. It's about money, but I miss SpongeBob more than money. It's like, yeah, I miss money because that's who I am. I can't really not miss it. But I'm also really sad about SpongeBob because I do shares them, and I realize how much he means to this place and everything. And even I think Squidward at one point is like, we'll not jump to that yet, because that's me, but he eventually, what I was going to say is, playing in delicate form, and he feels kind of like, what? No, I supposed to defeat you. It feels kind of like wrong. You're just giving it to me? That doesn't feel right. He kind of takes it, but it's like, yeah. And then we get to SpongeBob and them going on the quest. They eventually go and do what's up. But the main point I'm going to jump to is they daydream, and then they pop up in this town. They believe it's a daydream. I don't think it might be. It might not be. And they meet this sage, like one of those tumbleweed things. I think it's also called a sage, because I was a sage, and I am a sage. So it worked out. And it's played by Keanu Reeves. They're basically just a floating head of sage. It's cool. And I'm like, yeah, I like Keanu Reeves, so that was another thing for the movie. I thought, I'm like, oh, cool. He's going to be like a cameo in there. Not just a cameo. He actually has a decent-sized role. It's like more than I was expecting. I'm just saying. He was in the movie more than I expected, so that's good, because I like Keanu Reeves. So I'm like, yeah, I think he's one of the best characters in the movie. Even though he doesn't have that much, but I think he is a good character. He's one of the characters. I'm like, oh, you're in the movie more? I like you. You weren't bad. Keanu Reeves, I give you credit. He did, with what he did, I think he did good. And then, they go into this bar, because like, you have this thing you need to do, you go into this bar, free these guys, or whatever. All these, like, they're like a zombie cowboy, ghost cowboy thing, or whatever they go, and then they all start dancing, and then Snoop Dogg comes out, and just like a little laugh thing. I'm like, okay, movies do this sometimes, where they have celebrities come in and do stuff like that. It was fine. And I don't have anything against Snoop Dogg. He was fine. Just fun. Little like, oh, he's another celebrity. The phone in the movie to make it, yeah. They do it, I think, in all the movies, because the first one they did, like, David Hasselhoff, and they do it. So I'm not going to say all the SpongeBob movies kind of do it. They throw in characters. The second one, I don't know if they threw in anybody else. I know Africa Battle was in that one, but I don't know who else was there. But they usually like to phone people. But yeah. Really great. It's like that. That was interesting. Then the old, what's it called? El Diablo, whatever the guy is, the big bad guy is, that little place. Comes in, he's another actor. I can't remember his name, but you know, if you saw the movie, you know what actor I'm talking about. Yeah, he's another actor who's been in a decent number of stuff. And I'm like, oh, I wouldn't expect you in a SpongeBob movie, just saying. You do not seem like I would expect you in a SpongeBob movie. But yeah, it's cool. And then obviously, there's awesome jokes I did like in this. That I thought, like, hey, that was actually kind of funny. I enjoyed those. There were a couple of serious things. I'm like, okay, that was kind of funny. I enjoyed it. That does seem like a thing SpongeBob and them would do. It's like, yeah, so I didn't think it was that far off of what felt like SpongeBob. I think it's fine. And then we get into, they eventually go to the South City, and then they eventually save Gary, and da-da-da-da-da. And if we're going a little long, so we're going to kind of jump it up. I've been talking way too long about this. That's why I think I stopped talking about the movie in whole, because I just talk about way too much stuff. But eventually they all go to the Atlantis, and they eventually save Gary, and everybody says how much they care for him, and they have flashbacks of when SpongeBob was a kid, and they show how they met stuff with Sandy and SpongeBob did not meet that way in the show. You have an episode where they meet, so it's like weird. Anybody else, I think I would have been fine with. If that's the way we else met, I would have been fine with. But Sandy's the one I'm like, it's a little odd. But that's why I think it could be like a reboot, because you want to count that as like this, like it's a little standalone thing. It's a little different. I'm like, okay, then that's fine. And have like the Camp Cool on this be like its own thing, and be like, this is another like version of SpongeBob, or like a reboot. So it's kind of like the continuity does not follow from the shows and the other movies to this. So like, that's fine if you want to do that. I'm actually fine with that. And also the animation of this movie is like so different. And that's the one thing I think I gotta go to this movie. The movie's really different. And the best thing at the end, they save Gary. Everything works out as fun. And also at the end, I want to mention one other thing that I'll go into some more stuff, but really quickly, they do say a thing in memory of Steven Hillenburg. I thought that was a really nice thing to do for Steven Hillenburg. You don't know who Steven Hillenburg is. He's the creator of SpongeBob. He passed away a couple years ago. I think it was a couple years ago. It was sad, and I like how they gave a little tribute to him, just saying, in loving memory of Steven Hillenburg, or whatever. It's like I was saying, they didn't have to, but it's nice. I liked it. It was great. So yeah, there's that. If there's something at the end of the credits, there's nothing. I'm just going to say that now. Because that movie will have maybe a little something at the end. This movie does not, so don't worry about that. But yeah, so what do I think? What are some other things I want to mention? A couple of things I want to mention quickly about the movie. I'm talking about the movie way too much. I'm like, maybe that shows how much I like it, but yeah. This movie is, on the animation department, that's the one thing I think it beats, I think the other ones. I think I'll have to beat it. It beats the other two movies in the first movie in the animation department, because it's its own style. It's very different than a lot of the movies. And I like it, because it feels like its own thing. It's not just doing the 2D SpongeBob thing, but the second one did do some 3D SpongeBob thing as well, near the end. And I think it was good, but I do think the first two are, I think, overall better movies. I do think the third one's good, and I do think the animation is the one thing I'm like, yeah, the animation I would say is better, because that too is just like the show, but better. Like, the animation is just a little bit nice. It's nicer looking, made it look more movie-like. Yeah, but still the same technique animation, just made it look nicer. They try to do that with anime as well sometimes. If you take an anime show, they do a movie, it looks a little nicer. But yeah, it's kind of the same realm. But yeah, it's this other one. I like this animation style. That's one thing. I give it. That's one of the best things about the movie. And then when it comes to the rest of the movie, I think it's fine. I think it gets the job done. It has some parts that I did think were a little funny. I'm like, okay. Gave me like a smirk or laugh. Or like, yeah, okay. It's like, it was fun. It was a fun little movie. Definitely a movie kids can watch and probably get a little more out of it. But yeah. So what do I think of this movie? What do I rate this movie? What do I think of Sponge on the Run as a fun movie? I don't think it's bad. Like I said, I don't think it's bad. I think it's good. I either gonna get a 7 or an 8. And I think I forget. I've only read one movie so far. I know the first one's gonna get like a 9 or a 10 because it's really good. But the second one I gave it like, I forget if I gave it an 8 as well. But this one has, I think, just for me personally, I think I would give it, I'm gonna have to maybe give it a 7 or like an 8. The thing is, I don't know what I did the other one. Because I was like, it's below that one. So I'm like, it's one below that one. So if that one I did 9, then I would do this one like an 8. Or if I did a 10, I don't think I did that one a 10 as well. But like I can do, and yes, the movie gets the same rating, but I do think it was less than the second one. I have reviewed on the channel. I can't remember what I rated it. So I think we're just going to give it an 8. And give it an 8. I do think the other one's a little better. But I think overall, like, I enjoyed it. I'll give 8 or 7.5. I'm just gonna put 8, but I'm also gonna say 7.5. There's a little like less. If I had to go just to be on the safe side, we do 7.5. We're gonna do 8 because I do round numbers, and I think we'll just do 8. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think? Have you seen SpongeBob? Let me know in the comments down below and let's talk about it. Yeah, you can always stay epic and see you in the next video, guys. Bye.